Welcome to this training session brought to you in conjunction with Acquire Rural Holdings and CA Management. We're going to take you through how to use the Triumph point of sale system. As you'll work your way through the session, there's a whole series of different videos covering different sections on different parts of the system. The good thing is with the video series we brought to you, you can actually go to the table of contents and pick and choose which ones you want to look at. So you can either start at the beginning and go one by one, or come back to it later on and just do individual sections, or come back and review it. Or if you've got staff that have particular needs and they want to review something, you can just come in and rerun this again and looking at that particular section. Good luck, hopefully you enjoy it. The objective of this training course is to actually just take you through, give you some of the basic pointers of how to use a point of sale transactions, then go through some of the more sophisticated types of transactions, show you a few of the reports, help you set up some of the screens and maintenance, and if you're interested to go and have a look at some of the more detailed configuration and settings for later on. I'm not going to go through this point by point, but feel free to have a little bit of a read while you're looking at this slide. We're just covering some of the points that are in Triumph, just to give you an idea of what's available, what you can do. Some of the interesting ones is you can actually be running this on a touch screen or on an iPad quite happily. If we then just move on, and you'll see there's actually 2 pages of features, just giving you a bit of a feel for it. But as you're doing the training course, you will actually see most of these things being used in real life and practice. And you'll see there's actually 2 pages of features, just giving you a bit of a feel for it. But as you're doing the training course, you will actually see most of these things being used in real life and practice.
So now we're in creditors, and we're starting to actually want to raise purchase orders. So purchase orders is always a sub-module of creditors. We go into here and have a look at, essentially has the same memory structure you'd see in all other modules. But if we go into a purchase order, and we'll just do a simple purchase order, we have a look at orders, and we can do a general order, a quote. So general order is a repetitive order, quote's a quote for an order. I'm going to do a very simple order. Gives it an order number. You can pull up a creditor, choose who you want to order things from, filling in all the details of where you want it delivered to, lets you come in and you can say, look, I want to order a stock line, a general ledger line, a job line, stock and job, disbursement or description. I'll just do a very simple stock line for the moment. If I'm ordering these stock lines, yes, not from this supplier, how many do I want to order, the price, when do I want it delivered, off it goes. Or I can do a general ledger line, similar sort of thing, what GL accounted for, and each and the price. It's very simple to process that. Whack through the purchase order, and you can look at the purchase order on screen to see what it is, or you can fax and email it out to someone. Once you've got the purchase order, the system allows you to either receive them in and then receive the invoicing separately, or you can do it all in one combined document. It lets you then produce reports of what's outstanding for purchase orders, what's outstanding for items, notification of what's been delivered. Key components of this from an accounting point of view, it does actually then deal with all of your as you're doing your goods receipting, it does bring them in as accrues them into your liability account, and then when you actually receive your invoice, it takes it out of the liability account and puts it into the creditors account itself. So just letting you track through how much is there, and if we're looking at an order, on any order, you can then look up and see the details of any deliveries of instructions, etc. that have come through, for making it nice and simple to track and know what liability you've got left in your business. If you want more details, carry on through the training course.
So here's a list of all of the different types of transactions that you can actually do. You'll see we've done videos for each different one. When you're going through, by all means, I would suggest that you stop at the end of each video and actually go on to your Triumph Play system and try and do a few of the transactions yourself. because at the end of all of the videos we're going to give you some exercises to test you out. And what we've seen running it in practice is most people would have liked to have had a bit more time to play with it before they do their exercises. So the good thing is with this training video, you can just stop, go and have a play in the real system, come back to it, have another go from there. Hopefully you enjoy it.
We'll now have a look at the purchase order in a bit more detail. So let's have a look at just raising a purchase order. So if we go into purchase order entry maintenance, we can come in and we can choose to do different types of orders. Order, quote, general quote. If I just start from a quote point of view, and we can put it in as a quote, it'll give it an order number. We can choose to give it who we want this to go out to, so we can send it out to these people. When's this quote going to expire, so we can either leave it blank if we wanted to. Who are we as the purchasing officer? As a detailed comment of committed expenses, and this is optionally whether you set this up. It's all about saying when you raise a purchase order. So for a quote we don't need it, we'll just leave it. Price list, what price list are we buying things from? And you can see down here the price list to use or as last cost. So this is something that you set up on your creditor, and as you set up your creditor and your stock item, there can be up to 4 different prices on things you buy or at last cost. If you're getting special negotiated discounts, a message, who's the contact from this client, the supplier, so you can link it back to their details. So this guy hasn't got one, but we'll tie it up to this guy for the moment. Where do we want it delivered? The default normally is to the head office. And then I can come in and I can then start to put in the lines of what I want to order in. So I can order in stock lines. As I order in the stock line, it'll check who it's from, and I can see here there's notes on this stock item I wanted to, how many I wanted to get a quote on, what price do I think I want it for. We can get them to quote the different types of lines, etc. as come through. I'm not going to process all that, I'll just process this so you can see the transaction going out. So this is actually letting us fax or email out to the supplier a request for quote. It's a very simple request for quote. If you are doing lots of requests for quotes, it's worth having a look at the advanced purchasing module, which we'll cover in later training, but this lets us get something simple out the door to people. If we take a quote that's now there, and we can take that standard quote and go, well, I want to convert that now into an order. So I'm going to convert it into an order. It gives it an actual purchase order number. It gives it the date, creditor, we can say the delivery. So when we get down to committed expenses, at this stage there is actually potentially general ledgers entries being created on a purchase order. One of the options in the setup is to turn on committed accounting, and what this will do is debit this expense account and credit a nominated committed liability account that's set up in your settings and in your controls that you do need to set up for purchase ordering. And we'll cover that under the settings area in a minute. So we carry on past. If we are doing foreign currency, it will allow us to raise purchase orders in foreign currency. It will allow you to choose the different price list as nominated by the supplier's stock items. So this is set up off the supplier. So if we actually went to creditors and zoomed in there and looked in operations, we can set up in here the price list we use, the default lines that come through, and the discounts that people are being offered. And if we then go to a stock line itself and zoom in on the stock line, when you zoom in on a stock line and look at the suppliers, this is where the 4 different cost prices are coming from. So this is cost price 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last cost is the last cost you paid for it. So other things we can do on here, we can, like discounts, we put in messages, we can link it up with the different contacts on the account, and if you click on the red lines you can go to the email or automatically phone, fax, and you can say where we're going to have it delivered to. This delivery detail here is all coming from the system setup file. because it assumes unless you've got multi-location, it assumes you're actually just coming all to the one location. If you've got multi-location or multi-division, it will drive by whichever division that you're sitting in. If we look at the different types of lines in a little bit more detail, obviously you can choose a stock line, how many do you want to order. You can look up the different prices and it will tell you the last cost of that item, because that's what we've set it at. We can put in the different discounts and the delivery date. So as you notice, there's a delivery date on the header, but you can override that delivery date on a line by line basis as well. We can do other line types. We can do a general ledger line, so we can be buying things directly to the general ledger. So it'll ask us for the supplier stock code. So when we were doing a stock item, it isn't asking for that detail, because if you had the supplier stock code, it would automatically know what it was because it's pulling it out of the file. But if we're doing a general ledger line, I closed out that a bit early, it will ask the client what's their part number, so we can give them their part number for easier ordering. Quantity, price, and fills in all the details. We're also able to have job lines. So when you're raising a job line, you can actually pick a job, you can pick the cost centre it's going to, what's the description of what we're having done. We're having some painting done. It'll nominate the different types of line, whether it's a material purchase or a subcontract line. Let's do a material purchase. Same question about supplier code or catalogue numbers. We need a part number that when we send the order through to the person for their own internal purposes. How many are we ordering? By each, what's it going to cost? And you'll nominate, you can actually have markups and unit charges because it's job costing. I'm not going to spend a long time on those. It's just so you know, if you look at the job costing area, it will cover some of that. And how that's calculated, so the lead date. We can also do stock job. So what stock job means is we can order from our stock file and order it for a particular job. So this then brings it in for the job, the cost centre. Oh, I didn't expect that, but it's actually over budget on that job, which is excellent. And we can order one in and it will ask the cost, how much is it going to charge out for, GSTs, etc. We have an ability to add disbursement lines on an invoice. On a purchase order, a disbursement line can be either a dollar value or percentage upload. So it could be something like freight, and it will add $100 cost and split that over the lines. Disbursements can be done in a couple of different ways. There is, if you're doing inventory, there's a full landed cost area, just handed separately onto inventory training, or this is where we're getting freight coming through. And there is actually a training document on how to handle freight here for doing landed cost calculations if you're not using the standard inventory landed costing. And in descriptions we can then have a detail of what we want. So I'll put in extra messages. You can insert a pen, etc. as normal with transactions, but if I OK that, I can then print, preview, fax, email, document, and it will bring up, there's my purchase order going out. Being in Crystal, we can then format that as much as we like. So we've successfully raised a purchase order in the previous training, and that's created our committed costing in our general ledger. So the next step of doing purchase order is to receive something in. So when we actually do a goods received entry, is when the accrual entries, if you've got accrual accounting turned on, kicks in. If you haven't got committed costing or haven't got accrual costing turned on as your system setup, it doesn't start. I'm assuming it is for the moment. So to do a good receipt, first thing I need to do is I need to pull up my existing purchase order. So what purchase order am I doing it for? What delivery number am I going to do it for based on the paper? If I leave it blank, it will give it the next one, the date my delivery was done, and any comment that I wanted to have. It'll then bring through the details of the purchase order. You'll see there I can actually partially deliver something, so I don't have to deliver it all. What bin location do I want to put things into? So I can actually put it into row A to update the system. And if the prices change on these items, I can actually click on here and allow the system to revalue my pricing. So the last cost is, and what value do I want to sell things for. So I can actually set up and resell prices. And then I can move on to the next item I was delivering, coming through and receiving partial deliveries or whatever I want to have, or full price deliveries. Process that delivery. System, depending on what you've set up in the printing, it'll give you different transactions. So here we can see that I've had my purchase order delivered, giving me the details, telling me where to put it away. We can set up and print labels if I wanted to print labels. So for the different items, they can have their labels coming out. So from the point of view of the receipt, that was very simple, and you tend to have there's no dollar values in there. If I come back and have a look at the actual transactions that have happened by doing that, you'll now see down here that I had an original order for 5 or for 10, and I've had 5 delivered. If I look at my transactions, I can see that there's now been a delivery. I can view the lines and see all the different lines that have come through, and I can then do an event inquiry. And when I bring that event inquiry through, if we make that a little larger, you'll see that it's actually doing the entries that you need to process through, bringing it into stock on hand, bringing it into purchases, and come down to the bottom, it'll see it's reversing the committed expenses but bringing in the accrued liability for that transaction. Well, I come out of a purchase order. That's essentially done the purchase order and done my accruals. So we've successfully raised a purchase order, we've had some deliveries come in. The invoice has now arrived. As the invoices arrive, you can come into invoicing. I'm going to do it as an invoice entry because the goods were received separately. To do this, very simple, pull up the purchase order. What was the invoice number that they've given me? The date of the invoice. If I've got a matching total, I could put that matching total in just as a check total. When is it due for payment? We can do things like put it on hold if we want to put it on hold for a reason, so no different to putting in a creditor's invoice, filling in all the rest of the discounts, withholding taxes, an extra description line should we want it. Things like settlement discounts, retentions can be added, so this is no different to what you'd set on a normal creditor's transaction invoice, but now we come into the lines, it allows us to actually pull up this line and it'll tell us that in order was originally 10, we've had 5 delivered, and I can choose to deliver the same, or depending on the settings we've got in system settings, will allow me to deliver or invoice more than I've delivered. So when we go and look at settings later on, you'll see how this works. I'm just going to accept that I've had the same as delivered. I can put in a different price if I wanted to put a different price in. It tells me I've had a 2% cost decrease, and I can then get the prices to be changed as I go through. Should I want to change my prices? I don't want to change my prices, I'll leave that as it is. Finish that line off. I can fill in the rest of the details of what's been invoiced, what's coming in on this job. Alright, it's giving me a warning, so it's just giving me a warning. I'm going to change it back to what it should be, and I can do the same on that one, and I can have a cost decrease, which I'll accept that as is. So as I'm processing that through, it goes then and updates the system. So if I went back into that order, you'd see under the lines that we've had 5 delivered, 5 invoiced, 2 delivered, 2 invoiced against the order. If I look at the transactions, you'll see the invoices come through, and you can view the lines of the invoice to see what's happened. Or I can do an event inquiry and it'll give me all of the journals that have come through on that transaction. The effective journal is to debit any appropriate expenses for any variations that have happened, because you'll see I've had a variation of invoice cost. But the main thing that we'll do is take out the accrued liability and put it in as into a trade creditors account, and it has an accrued GST component and puts it into another GST account. If I then close back out of here, the other type of transaction we can have is a combined invoice receipt entry. So what the effect of this is actually merging the goods receipt stage and the invoice stage together. So if I pull that through and pull up a different order, or I can actually pull up the same order and we'll finish off the lines that we're doing. So we're having a different invoice number, all the details of deliveries. It comes through to the lines, and I can then do the other items that came through. So there's nothing to deliver on that line. Nothing. There's one to be delivered on that line. Nothing to be delivered there. And we can have our zero freight because we've already taken the freight up. Process that through. So the purchase order is now complete, and will actually let me close that purchase order since everything's happened. And I can get the goods receipting paperwork printed, the labels printed, and it'll finish it off. If I go back and have a look at the purchase order now, one, it won't be on the list because I haven't included all my orders. If I pull it up and then I have a look at my individual lines, you'll see it's actually been ordered, delivered, everything. We can look at the transactions, and you can see here what we've done is we had our original delivery, our next invoice, and then we've had the combined one which put through the two items together. If we pull up these and have a look at these invoices just to see the event inquiry that's happening in here, it's actually pulling it through, and you can see it's doing putting into trade credit and taking out of accrued liabilities. Something to be wary of when we are doing different line types, and we'll just talk about the different line types of what actually happens. So when you're doing a stock line and it's doing the purchase order, it will actually debit the purchase, credit closing stock, debit stock on hand, and credit the accrued liability and the accrued GST. General ledger will just do straight to the expense and the accrued liability when you're doing the receipt. Job line, we'll do it to the work in progress account and to the job expense and then the accrued liability, or trade creditors if it's just doing a pure invoice. Stock job line is a little bit different. It actually will put the goods into stock, so it actually puts it into stock, and then we'll take it out of stock and put it into work in progress because it has to track it through the whole stock system. And actually, if you went and have a look, it's really like two transactions. One is a stock purchase in, and then a stock requisition out. So it does actually have an effect on things. If we go and have a look at that EP24 now in our inventory system, and look at the transactions that have come in here, we'll see that it's had a purchase in under that purchase order number, and then it's had a requisition out, and we've then had a requisition in and out because we've actually had a price adjustment on there, because there was a difference in our pricing when we did our final invoicing. So it takes the stock adjustment out and puts it back through at the right prices. So we're actually able to see with the stock job line all of the transactions to and from the sub-ledger, and we can track it all the way through. So it does have quite a degree of additional power to the normal job and stock lines. So coming back out of there, and so that's essentially covered off all of your transactions going through there. So you set up your purchase order, and first thing you need to do is go to System Maintenance, System Setup, Extra Setup Options, and go to Purchase Order and Control. A few criteria to think about here, the questions to actually think of. When you're actually doing your deliveries and invoicing, do you want the system to default the quantities? So this means if you've ordered 10, it'll automatically come up on the delivery and the invoice with 10. Yes, it's a yes or no question. I normally leave it as yes. Your next question is, don't allow the quantity delivered to exceed what's been ordered. Optional question is, if there's more quantity being delivered than ordered, do you want to allow that? And you can set that either way you like. Do you want to match the invoice to the purchase order? So it just forces you to actually check things. So what we then do is we're checking the only posting invoice on the delivery information. So we're actually saying don't let the invoice go more than what's been delivered. Do we want to check that don't allow the invoice quantity to exceed what's been ordered? Don't allow invoice amount to exceed ordered amount. So you can actually put different criteria of warnings and stopping people doing things, and it just depends on how far you want to lock the system down. Do you want the system to be given an automatic delivery docket number, or do you force people to data entry that in themselves? So just making it very much a warning. Do you want staff to know that there's certain goods on back order when they receive things? So from the shipping, as the people receive things in, they're then told that goods are available on back order, so they should then go and find out who they're for. Do you want to force people to fill in bin locations so they can store where it is, and that will then update your inventory information with what your new bin location is? And do you wish to keep the markup between actual and charge amount when the cost changes on job lines? So where you've got margins set up in jobs, do you want to, if the costs go up, do you want those markups to be kept the same even though the costs have changed? So just a few options that are worth turning on and off and testing and trialing a few things as you do some transactions. And then you've got the ability to say how long do you keep old purchase orders for. A couple of the key questions is the GL interface is, if you want to keep committed liability information, you tend to turn committed liability. I tend to turn, if I'm using job costing, I will tend to turn it on always because I want to see the committed liability on a job. If I'm not running job costing, I tend to turn it off. The good thing is, if we did have committed costing turned on, and we then go to our general ledger control and our control account maintenance, the system expects us to fill in under purchase ordering our default committed liability and committed expense. If we set those as being the same account, it will turn committed liability on to reflect reporting information in the job costing, but won't actually create any general ledger journals, which is normally the way I set it. But if you do want to have a committed liability in the general ledgers, you can do that. You'll also see in here that there's a requirement to set up your accrued liability account. The other thing that happens if you turn this on as well is under your tax control maintenance, you need to set up your purchases accrual for your GST, because as you create accruals, the entry needs to reflect the total liability, which is the amount that you owe creditors, or less what you're going to claim back for GST purposes. So we go back into our purchase control, and that's really driven by committed costing and then turning on your accrual costings. You can set up your document numbering to say what comes through, and then we can start to do requisitions, and I'll come back to the requisitions when we talk purchase requisitions and our functions of what we can do. So that's setting up purchase control, purchase order settings. Something to note is when doing creditor control, there are some other areas that you should look at for when you're doing creditors. Under general ledger control, maintenance, it's necessary to actually set up your control codes in here to say where's your normal debtor creditor control account, settlement discount, retention, to withholding tax are going to go to in your general ledger. And it's worth also being conscious that under tax control you need to set up to have your GST account in place. So just giving you a couple of things that are worth looking at there.
So when you're having a look at the point of sale reporting, Triumph's got fairly simple point of sale reporting, but it's consistent with all of their other modules that you have two areas, one for your listings, which gives you any static information, and then you've got the reports, which is any dynamic information that's been calculated or taken over from reports. You'll see there that a note that lots of people tend to come in and look at reports in any of the modules and always just hit the preview button and don't really actually look at what some of the options and features. So if you have a look in there, you'll see that there's many options and features in all of the reporting that just gives you different ways to look at the same information. So have a go at trying some of those options. It doesn't do any harm. It's only a report. It's never going to destroy anything. And it will be surprising how much information you can get out of the system.
Looking at some of the reporting in the purchase ordering module, we've got a purchase ordering listings, very simple listings. It gives you a list of all orders, general quotes, all transactions. You can do it in a foreign currency and you can group it and you can do your selection. So if we just look at what that report is, it's a very simple report. We have these outstanding, these purchase orders that have been listed at the moment. This is all we've created in a dollar value. If we look at more detail, we can start going to reports and then we start to get more detailed outstanding reports. So if I'm looking at an outstanding sales order, I can look at this by what's outstanding to be delivered, what's outstanding to be invoiced, what's outstanding to be both delivered and invoiced, and what's not outstanding at all. So if I'm just going to go both for the moment, and I can choose it by groups or sequences, and I can do selections for certain delivery dates, order numbers, group creditors. This lets me have a look here at here are all my outstanding purchase orders, how much value is my original order, what's still waiting to be delivered, what's still waiting to be invoiced. If I rerun that again, it would include lines this time. You'll see it's saying here's the outstanding and here are the items that are on it. How much quantity have I got to deliver, to ordered, what's waiting to be delivered, what's waiting to be invoiced, what's the prices on that outstanding in dollar values, and what am I waiting to invoice. So the total outstanding committed potential liability I've got coming. We can run this in base currency or foreign currency if you've got different currency transactions. We'll look at the outstanding items. Same sort of criteria, whether we're looking at what's waiting to be delivered or both. And I can do it by criteria. So let's have a look at that's better if I can get things. And what this will then do is break it down into general items, so what's coming to the general ledger, what's waiting to come to a job, and what's waiting to come to inventory. I'll make that a little bit bigger so we can see them. You can actually see that I have a GL item waiting to be coming in. It's got one ordered, one still waiting to deliver, one to invoice. But then you can break down and look at each different thing. And the key to that is, when you're looking at selections, you can just choose general ledger items that are outstanding stock items, even by descriptions or job codes of what's waiting to come through. Delivery notification. This gives us a list of everything that's been delivered. And so we've actually had these items delivered, what has come in, based on where they come from, what purchase order they come to, like a cross-referencing what's happened. And last report is the purchase registers. So where we've got committed liabilities or accrued liabilities, when I look at commitments, this will actually calculate if I've got any commitments committed to the liability. So I haven't got any committed expenses at the moment. Hopefully I might have some accruals. Same thing with accruals, I haven't got any of those. So what I need to do is go and accrue something, so let's just do that. And then you can see the entries that will come in. access receipts into this one. And rerun that report. That's better. So we can now see that we've got a delivery that's been received, but we haven't yet received the invoice for 14 cents and what the value of that is. So we can actually see what our accrued, and that will then tie back to our general ledger account for our purchase order accruals. I'm just giving you those audit trails of what's happening. So some of the common things in purchase ordering that we haven't yet covered, if we just have a look, is there is no real file maintenance inquiry in there because nothing's maintained. Under special processing, the only thing you've really got to do is flag orders, so depending on how long you've kept your history for, you can delete them. But maybe the more important thing to talk about here is common things that come up. The good thing in purchase ordering, you can actually delete transactions on the fly. So where we've actually had an invoice come through, so if I pull up a purchase order, I can look at this purchase order and I can actually pull up an invoice number and go, I want to actually delete this purchase order number. It won't actually let me delete it there because at the moment this is a completed purchase order. But given the purchase order is completed, if you pull one up that's completed and click on the delete button, you can take the close flag off. So as we close this purchase order, I can now unclose it and go back into an invoice, pull up that purchase order, pull up an invoice and reverse this invoice, which means I come back and have a look at the invoice itself. It's now done a credit note onto that person, so that credit note has actually been fully reversed. Taking the invoice out, I also have the ability to do the same thing with a goods receipt that went with it. So I could pull up that, pick up the goods receipt note and reverse that. Looking at the purchase order now, you can see the reversing transactions coming through and the statuses of what's in there. And if I look at the lines, I'm now getting the details that this is originally 10 order and it's all backed it out. So making it far easier than most modules to actually undo things. So you're seeing there in the normal creditors and debtors, once an invoice is put in, you can't really reverse it, but in purchase ordering and sales order entry, there is a far better ability to reverse things out and make it so that we can progress through. So summarising, one of the other issues that causes people a significant amount of understanding issues is how to deal with accruals. We've talked about it earlier, but I'm just going to reiterate it. So at the moment, when I raise an order entry, if I've got committed costing turned on, it will always raise an entry to, in this case, debit committed expense account 4228 and credit the committed liability account in the control. If I then receive the goods received in, it will reverse the committed liability expense and committed liability account, but it will then debit the appropriate expense account and credit the accrual account. When we actually bring the invoice in, it will reverse the accrual account and put the entry through to the trade creditors account. The only thing that you also need to be conscious of that is if you do bring in an invoice, and when you bring in an invoice, if we go to that invoice for a moment, and we're putting in lines. If I put this in and I have different values, it will actually put through an adjustment entry into my stock account to flag that there's been a variation of either quantity or price. Main reason for that is based on accruing things in one financial period. The reversal needs to then be done in the current period, and you need to see any adjustments of that. Same thing happens if you're doing stock jobs or job lines, that you can have accrued the expense into one financial period, and when you actually do the goods invoice, which could be a different value, it needs to bring through the changed value or variation in the new period and not move it from period to period. So it's worth doing some transactions there and trying the example of doing the delivery, accruing it, doing the invoice, and then doing the invoice for different quantities and different dollars and seeing the actual entries that come through. I think they're some of the key points that you need to understand in purchase ordering.
Just giving you some useful documents that you might want to go and have a look at. On the CA Management website, under our FAQ area, we have a whole series of different notes on different functions within Triumph, but some of the ones that are worth having a look at are the end of day procedures and the POS training notes. Triumph also have another document which is setting up POS and OPOS setup, which is handy for anyone trying to link up their cash registers, scales, or their printers. Just goes through all the necessary setup functions. Or if all else fails, by all means, give us a ring at support@caman.com.au, and whoever's on help desk will give you a hand to go through it all. Welcome to this training session, brought to you in conjunction with Acquire Rural Holdings and CA Management. We're going to take you through how to use the Triumph point of sale system. As you'll work your way through the session, there's a whole series of different videos covering different sections on different parts of the system. The good thing is, with the video series we brought to you, you can actually go to the table of contents and pick and choose which ones you want to look at. So you can either start at the beginning and go one by one, or come back to it later on and just do individual sections, or come back and review it. Or if you've got staff that have particular needs and they want to review something, you can just come in and rerun this again and looking at that particular section. Good luck, hopefully you enjoy it. And you'll see there's actually 2 pages of features, just giving you a bit of a feel for it. But as you're doing the training course, you will actually see most of these things being used in real life and practice. I'm not going to go through this point by point, but feel free to have a little bit of a read while you're looking at this slide. We're just covering some of the points that are in Triumph, just to give you an idea of what's available, what you can do. Some of the interesting ones is you can actually be running this on a touch screen or on an iPad quite happily. If we then just move on.
So in purchase requisitions, we've seen in the order entry side where when we raise a purchase order, if I go in and raise a purchase order for a moment, I can put through lines, and if I put through a line here, and when I put it in and order some of these, it'll put them on back order and say I want to requisition them, so I can requisition them. I can nominate a supplier and the value, or I can put through a non-stock item and order them here, and it will requisition them. In this case I won't nominate a supplier, but I can then put that through. So what happens there in the purchasing side, I come back to my creditors and purchase ordering. There's a process called process requisition lines, As I process this requisition line, there is an ability to actually handle different types of requisitions. I'll just deal with one type at the moment, being customer back orders. So as we just put through customer back orders, what the system will let me do is pull through all the different lines, and you'll see here's the lines that I was putting through, that I can actually order these things and go, I can now pick a line and I can drop certain lines I don't want to order. So I'm just going to drop all the ones part that order I was just dealing with. So I can see that that's an order there for Fred. On this one, the non-stock, I need to actually say who I'm going to buy it from, and it's going to be the name, added something different. They've now told me the price is whatever, their stock code number is whatever, the date. I can then come to Fred and say, yes, the price is actually going to be slightly different, or I know that I've tried to get it from him and I've got to get it from somewhere else. The price is then different again. And what I can also do is print the lines that are there, and it will give me the details of the orders that I've got, and I can see what I need to requisition. I can also add in other lines, so if I want to order something at the same time, which is completely not related to those customers, but while I'm talking to that guy, I will order them anyway. Letting me put that through, and I can then raise my purchase orders. I won't print the purchase orders for the moment, but I can raise them for one supplier, all suppliers, to a certain, who am I? So I can be Bill Smith, and what order date, and where do I want them delivered. So I process these requisitions. If I then go into my purchase ordering, I'll see there's a new purchase order there for this one, and there's the two items we had, and the previous purchase order is just the one item we'd ordered. So they've gone in. If I go and have a look at this and do my goods receipt or my invoice entry, so I'll just do it as a goods receipt so we can see this come through, and pick one of those. Delivery docket goes in as normal, and go, yes, we received these, and the non-stock item, I received that, and I'll accept all of that. So receiving all of that, I can then get my goods receipt coming through. I can print labels, so when I actually get I won't print the labels, it'll print out for me a special notification saying, yes, this item was coming through for that customer with the details, so I don't even need to put it away. This lets me track things through and know exactly what's happening, making it very easy for following up and making sure things are actually not even put away. But if I went back to the sales order entry, our order will now be taken from being on back order into reserved. I can produce my picking slip, or a lot of the time you don't even need to produce the picking slip because the goods don't even get put away because the guys know that they're for a particular customer. So we've previously seen how to do purchase requisitions for back order for a customer. Some of the other things we can do with back order processing or purchase requisition, if we go to inventory and we go into our reports and we do an extra report, we can do a min-max report. When we do a min-max report, we can set up whether we want to, what stock item we want to do averages, and if you look at the report, we can just reorder up to a minimum only. We can choose to do it by groups and categories or subgroups, given a certain range of people. And we can just run a report, or we can actually also create a purchase requisitions. And what this lets us do is clear out what we've got there already, or just add to it. So if I just add to this, this will go off and create items that are below my minimum and up to my maximum, so I need to reorder them. And then I can just process this and commit this. The second report there, you can either run that one, the min-max, and that will take it straight over into purchase ordering, purchase requisitions, and be here as a stock replenishment. The other option to do stock replenishment is under inventory, reports, reorder stats report. And if you want to work out how to do this one, you need to look in the inventory, but I'm just going to go through here and assume it's all ready to go. And the key component is I send it off to purchase requisitions, tell them where I want to order the minimum or maximum quantities, and I won't clear it again, but I'll run that through now. It produces the report telling me what's needed to be ordered, and I commit that through to my purchasing system. And now if I look at my purchasing system under requisition lines, I won't do jobs this time, or customer back orders, it'll actually bring through and saying, yeah, here are the different items that we should be reordering, and asking me, I can actually, if I've got predefined preferred suppliers, I will have pulled them up, but I can fill them in and then raise the purchase orders to go with it. I'm letting me order that stuff in straight away. And I can process the invoices. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm just going to come out of there. So purchase ordering will also let you do some other transactions where you can actually, where you're using job costing, transaction entry, and you're doing your job quoting. When you're doing your job quoting, you can actually fill in all the details of what's required on a job, and as you actually run that job through and convert it from being a quote to an order, so as I take a job, I'll convert it to an order, or if I go to an existing job order, I can look at this job order and it'll actually then convert them into purchases. If I look at my purchase requisitions and just do it for job lines, I'll ping a single job. What this will actually do is give me the lines based on my job purchase that I need to order, and it will do the same process, taking it out into job purchasing and allowing me to create all my purchase orders. What is slightly different in here is under the system maintenance setup for purchase ordering, we have a couple of questions that are worth considering. Is, do we want to actually allow deleting purchase requisition to be reopened or reduced? Do we want to create one purchase order per job? And if so, do we want the job as a purchase order number? I normally tend to leave this on, because that way when I'm actually raising purchase orders, you can see that the job number is the purchase order number, and makes cross-referencing a lot simpler, just to actually make things all flow through correctly. So if you want to get more details on how job purchasing goes, you'll need to go to the job training. Purchase requisitions can also be generated from a couple of other different places. So if we just went to point of sale, transactions, logged into point of sale for a moment, and if you actually pull up a stock item in point of sale, and looking at this, when you actually raise an item for point of sale that isn't actually available, you can actually purchase or transfer it from different locations. So exactly the same as if you're doing it within the purchasing or order entry area. And the effect is the same, it flows all the way through and has the same things. If I come out of there for a moment and have a look at other areas that it can be generated from, If you're in multi-location and you're doing internal stock transfers, and you go to ship stock to another location, apply the selections and say yes, I'll add all of those. I want to edit this transaction. If there's not sufficient quantity, you can send off a purchase request to say that now it still needs to be purchased, so we'll actually send it through into the purchase requisitions area saying that the stock requested needs to be purchased, so it will then allow you to go and purchase it and raise all the purchase orders. So if I'm not going to swap companies temporarily so we can see this. Is once I've actually got this going with process requisition mind, I can actually then choose to do it for a single creditor up to a certain delivery date. I can do stock replenishment coming from my Minimaxes or my sales statistics report. I can get back orders coming through from stock transfers, from point of sale, from sales order entry, combining them all together, or I can actually get job purchase requisitions coming through from subcontracting materials, other purchases, and throwing through into this, where I can then edit the lines and then I can process them through into orders. Okay, that covers all the extra bits in purchase requisition.
Welcome to this training session brought to you in conjunction with Acquire Rural Holdings and CA Management. We're going to take you through how to use the Triumph point of sale system. As you'll work your way through the session, there's a whole series of different videos covering different sections on different parts of the system. The good thing is with the video series we brought to you, you can actually go to the table of contents and pick and choose which ones you want to look at. So you can either start at the beginning and go one by one, or come back to it later on and just do individual sections, or come back and review it. Or if you've got staff that have particular needs and they want to review something, you can just come in and rerun this again and looking at that particular section. Good luck, hopefully you enjoy it. And you'll see there's actually 2 pages of features, just giving you a bit of a feel for it. But as you're doing the training course, you will actually see most of these things being used in real life and practice.
So we've been previously looking at purchase ordering, and we now want to look at a couple of extra things. If we go into extra setup options and go into purchase ordering control, you'll see that there's that function here to turn on advanced purchasing. If you turn on advanced and then turn on approved credit, the system gives you a couple of extra things in here. You've got work orders coming on board, and if I save this and come out of here, we'll have a look at some of the functions that come in with the advanced purchasing submodule. Some of these we have looked at previously, but if we just look at some of the simple ones, the first one that comes in is under stock item maintenance. And if you pull up a stock item under suppliers, the landed cost function, and if you look in the inventory training, there is some areas covering the landed cost, but that is actually covered with purchase under the advanced purchasing area. If we look in creditors, there's also concept Incoterms. So when we're actually raising a purchase order, if I go to purchase order now, under file maintenance, it actually brings in the Incoterms maintenance. So this is actually setting up what are the details of ownership and when ownership changes for goods being purchased. And we have a look at a purchase order to see how that flows. As you raise a purchase order, and we pull up one that already exists, you'll see there's a concept of Incoterms, and you can nominate that when's the ownership going to pass and what's the destination point that's going to happen. So just giving you the ability to track those type of concepts. You'll also see here there's a new menu option called work order, and we flagged it up earlier a moment ago. There's a new work order number. If we have a look at a work order is very similar to a purchase order and operates exactly the same way as a purchase order does in all of its journal entries, etc. The difference being is because we've now turned on unapproved work orders, this can create a purchase order immediately. normally used by sort of foremen or people who have to do service work as they go through. So if I put in a creditor's invoice, so a purchase order, gives me the details, you'll see I can put in more notes. One thing that will happen is we can actually now put in user-defined notes on a purchase order or a work order to give us more information. And as we do a work order, it only applies to jobs at this point in time, so we can actually raise it for a job and put in, giving the budgets, allowing them to put in extensive description lines and put in quantities and prices. Maybe you fill things in, and if you process through, then raise a work order with a work order number, and you can actually send that out to people. So that allows you to go and do that quite happily. So when you've actually got it working, you can now put the work order through it, and we'll need to see that to come up. One of the other options that comes up with the new advanced purchasing is a thing called scanned goods receipts. Now if we have a look at scanned goods receipts, this means that you can come in, and this is all about deliveries coming in by credit card. If I put in not credit card, by barcode, if I put in a supplier's code, I can then put in and scan the item. So if I'm scanning this item, which I know is, that's the scan code, you'll see it's actually coming through scanned for items. I can then check, I can also do this and import this from a barcode scanning device. I can check exceptions, no exceptions. So an exception only comes up if an item is scanned but isn't actually in our system. If I then go and edit deliveries, it'll bring up and say, well, this is the number that we're delivering. Which purchase order do you wish to allocate this delivery against? And you can nominate which one it is, and you can make changes to selling price, etc. I process the deliveries through, and then ask me for a delivery number, and I can commit that, and it'll produce the same sort of labels, etc., as if I was doing a normal purchase order delivery. So I can then see that coming through. What's the details? So the ramification of that from a data entry point of view is exactly the same as doing a normal goods receipt, but it doesn't mean that you can take a delivery in bulk and automatically split it amongst the purchase orders that have been already received. So I've covered off the sort of the major, some of the more minor changes on purchase requisitions, and we might have another training session on the more detailed ones, which is under the purchase requisitions. So we're looking at advanced purchase ordering. We now start to have a purchase requisitions. When you've actually turned this on, you actually get a complete process coming through here. If we just start at the top of this and have a look at a normal purchase requisition entry, the concept of this is all about saying that staff members want to be able to requisition things from the purchasing department. So it can come through, it'll give me a purchase requisition number. I have an ability to either submit a requisition or hold a requisition. So a submitted one means that this purchasing department have the goods. If it's not purchased, if I want to create it and hold it and to do extra changes to it, I'd set it up as on hold. I will submit this one. So as I come through here, I can tab over the job number or the cost centre number or the supplier number if I don't need to fill it in, and I can then fill these in on a per line basis, or if I have these known to me, I can default them and let the system do it. So one of the things that will always demand though is an internal contact. So if you're raising a purchase order, it needs to know who you are. So it needs to know who I am before it will let me go and look at the lines, and then I will have to then put in a job cost centre if I know those informations. Go back to the header for a minute. So the first thing you've really got is like job cost centre, and if I put in a job number, it will just default it through later. I don't know who I'm going to buy it from. When do I require it sent to me? What is it? Or painting, my email address, contact details, where do I need it delivered to, notes of commentary about what this is about, so it's more internal things. And B, we have user-defined information set up in here. So traditionally, if you're buying for equipment, you tend to want to be, all the make, model, serial number and details of the motor or whatever you're doing it for. So it's easy to put it at the header page and then fill in all the lines. If I then put in so I put in the details of what I want there. I can then come down into the lines, and when I'm choosing the lines, you'll see because I've chosen it at the header page, it defaults the job number will stay the same all the way through. I'm forced to fill in a cost centre. I don't have to supply the supplier because potentially I don't know who I'm going to buy it from, and I can then put a description of what I want to buy. So I need a filter kit. I don't need to know anything about prices, but if I do know that I'm buying and it has materials or labour, I can choose that. I can say how many I need to buy. Pricing, that's really up to purchasing. If I've got that information, I can put it in. If I'm marking it up, I can put it in. If I know the part number for the part for the people who are going to supply it, we can put it in, and then we require that particular item. Something that you can also do, it's quite handy with this, if I make the screen a little bit bigger and then draw this back up, you'll see what it actually does is make the description bigger and the screen smaller. So as you'll start to see this in all the purchasing, you can play with this to decide how you want to do that. So if I can put a couple of lines in, different one I could actually put a supplier in there, put it what I wanted to buy, and put in a multiple quantity. You can also do a stock job, so this means you can actually order things from your stockpile to say, yes, I want some of these ordered for this cost centre. So I had a look at that cost centre and I wanted to have 40 of those. So letting me fill that in and then complete the requisition. Oh, let's get a supplier that doesn't have it by certain box sizes, and then I can produce a purchase requisition. So this is giving me a complete purchase requisition document that can be sent to the purchasing department to decide this is what I need to have provided. If I come out of here, I can also do purchase requisition inquiries. I can actually look up that detail and make that a little bit bigger so I can see that number. It's for me. If I drill in on it, it'll give the line to that purchase order when it was requested. And later on, as we start to raise purchase orders, you'll start to see more information about it. So we've previously raised the purchase requisition, and we have a look at purchase requisition. It comes in and you've raised a simple requisition, so I'll just raise another one quickly so you can see what happens. Put it in as a purchase order and give it a cost centre. I need to have my contact, and I can raise my lines quite happily. So raising some paint, and we'll order 10 of them. Happily raising the purchase requisition. When I've actually raised that, I can then now process that, and I process it in two different ways, either through the process requisition line, which is traditionally what we've done for jobs, and you could pull it through and pull it up, and it would pull it in and say there's that purchase requisition ready to process, and you can choose the supplier you want to send to it and treat it exactly the same as all purchase requisitions or other jobs that we've been doing. And that means you can have multiple purchase requisitions going under one purchase order. If you want to keep purchase orders requisitions tighter, you can actually also process them through the purchase requisitions, which is more traditional. Here we can pull up the purchase requisition, look at the purchase requisition, fill in details on it, fill in the extra information that we want to have on it, that it's a Ford Falcon, etc. and then you can go to the lines, and you'll see these lines allows me to come in here and I can actually define how much I want to requisition, what I want to put on my request for quote, how much do I order. If I tab through to my requisition, I can now pull up people and go, yes, I'll add that supplier, I'll add another supplier, and add a third supplier, and then I can say I will send this out to them. So I can either send it to all of them or I can just send to the current one. What this will do is send out a request for quote to them so they can then quote on it and we can get our prices. Once we've got our prices and we've accepted them, we come back to the line and we can nominate which supplier is actually getting it. We can put the price in that they've quoted, put in the details, how many we're ordering, anything that we want to change. You'll see as we've done that, we come through here, we know the request, we then move to the ordering, and at that ordering stage, we can then say who the authorising officer is. Normally, authorisation's done at a later stage, but I'll just process that. Once it's through, we can now come up to the purchasing, and in the purchasing you'll see there's unapproved orders, and the order will be sitting here as an unapproved order. If I pull that up and convert it to an order, and then I need to put in who's authorised it, and if I process that through, it will then raise a purchase order. Normally with the authorising officer, this is actually the purchasing officer in our setup for purchasing, we just renamed it. But if I come back into my purchase requisitions and have a look at my inquiries now, we can do a purchase order inquiry, and you'll see that my purchase requisition is there. If I drill in on it, it'll give me details that it's related to whichever purchase requisition, what's been ordered, not what's been delivered yet. If I come back and do my requisition inquiry, it'll give me similar sort of information, but from the other angle. There's my purchase requisition. It's been ordered on that job number or purchase order number. I then go and do my goods receipts and pulling up that purchase requisition or that purchase order. Go to the lines, receive in 7 of them and process it through, and it'll actually come up and give us a notification of what requisition number that relates to. So whoever's in stores realise it's for such and such a person, and they will then give it to them, etc. If we look at our inquiry information on the actual requisition itself now, you can see the details that it's been partially delivered, or if we look at the purchase order information, same sort of capability. It's been, if I drill into it, it's been partially delivered. So letting people do the cross-referencing and seeing what's still to be delivered, etc. So it gives you a nice flow that you can raise a purchase requisition, send it to the supply department, they order it, and then as a user you can look up see what's happening to your requisition or where the purchase is up to. Purchase requisitions can also be generated from a couple of other different places. So if we just went to point of sale, transactions, logged into point of sale for a moment, and if you actually pull up a stock item in point of sale, and look at this, when you actually raise an item for point of sale that isn't actually available, you can actually purchase or transfer it from different locations. So exactly the same as if you're doing it within the purchasing or order entry area. And the effect is the same, it flows all the way through and has the same things. If I come out of there for a moment and have a look at other areas that it can be generated from, if you're in multi-location and you're doing internal stock transfers, and you go to ship stock to another location, apply the selections and say yes, I'll add all of those. I want to edit this transaction. If there's not sufficient quantity, you can send off a purchase request to say that it's Now it still needs to be purchased, so we'll actually send it through into the purchase requisitioned area saying that the stock requested needs to be purchased, so it will then allow you to go and purchase it and raise all the purchase orders. So if I'm not going to swap companies temporarily so we can see this. Once I've actually got this going with process requisition lined, I can actually then choose to do it for a single creditor up to a certain delivery date. I can do stock replenishment coming from my min-maxes or my sales statistics report. I can get back orders coming through from stock transfers, from point of sale, from sales order entry, combining them all together, or I can actually get job purchase requisitions coming through from subcontracting materials, other purchases, and throwing through into this, where I can then edit the lines and then I can process them through into orders. Okay, that covers all the extra bits in purchase requisition.
Hopefully at this stage you're sick of listening to my voice, which is good, but you've also learnt some of these skills along the way. And this is the last slide, so well done, congratulations, you've now completed the course.